Today, I would like to talk about the term kahiko, having a main focus on aspects of the hula, oli, and the mele. The time period, because of the scarce records of old Hawaii, I would like to observe periods of time predating the beginning of Awana music. To understand how the Hawaiians lived is important to understanding their ancient forms of music. I chose to do this topic because as a Hawaiian, I feel it is important to share the culture that will keep the Hawaiian heritage alive and where I can share the knowledge I researched and learned with my family and children. Kahiko can be translated as a way of life. According to Ulukau's Hawaiian dictionary, kahiko means old, ancient, antique, and long ago. It can also mean a way of thinking, acting, and a way of speaking, and to cling to the old times. In order to observe the word kahiko for complete understanding, it is important to observe Hawaiian history, Hawaiian culture, and practices, and Hawaiian music. In years predating the 1900s, Hawaii had a very basic political system that Hawaiian people upheld. According to the book Ancient Hawaiian Civilizations, there were three main classes of people: the ali'i, maka'ainana, and the kawa. The ali'i class, or the ali'i nui, ruled over the people similar to how a king would. The maka'ainana were the middle class workers that fished and farmed and provided a means of sustainability. The kawa was the lowest class that had no land and no rights in the community. These social classes identified the people's way of life as described by the definition of kahiko. Aside from their social classes, the kapu system is another example of the kahiko life. The kapu system was the laws that governed the people. The ali'i enforced the kapu system, and it set the roles of each social class. These laws also upheld the belief in their gods. The kapu system itself was designed to create strict order. While there are many kapu, one kapu was where it was common for women and men to not eat together. In terms of social standing, ali'i needed to possess two things: the blood lineage and the mana or power to enforce their social standing. Men were thought of having more mana, and eating with women would diminish that mana. In most cases, people who broke the kapu system were sentenced to death. In best terms, people who broke the kapu system could seek refuge from these punishments. Pu'uhonua o Honaunau is one of these sacred sanctuaries for people who broke the kapu system. Music and its counterpart, dance, is the best way to understand the old traditional kahiko way. There are many different forms of musical kahiko. These forms are best broken down into mele hula and mele oli. Within the two forms of mele, they are broken down into further subcategories. According to the book Ancient Hawaiian Civilization, the music of ancient mele oli was almost entirely vocal. It consisted of a natural expression of poetical and rhythmical impulses. The oli was a chant or intonation, a solo performance unaccompanied by other people. The most usual styles of chanting were kepa kepa, oli, and ho'ai. Kepa kepa was the simplest form with rhythmical conversational tone. Oli had a deep chest quality that demanded natural vocal ability and a superior breath control to sustain long phrases. Pitch maintained at one level, then inflections and drops occurred at the end of phrases during breathing places. Ho'ai was more regular and emotional with the prolonging of the vowel in the word. This was similar to trilling. Trilling is a force of air from the mouth that is passed through the tongue that causes the tongue to vibrate. Within the styles of the oli, there are many different forms of mele. The poetry side of oli that Hawaiians chanted about. I want to share two different types of mele oli in the upcoming two slides. One is the most famous chant, the kumulipo, and the second is a love chant by Nona Beamer. Kumulipo, a style of chant that was a staple for Hawaiians. Like most religions, there was a focus on gods, and the kumulipo chant gave understanding of the birth of the earth and humans, and from the development there was worshipping of the gods. It signified the origin of the Hawaiian people, and it relates to the identity of the people today. The kumulipo spoke of the creation of darkness and the creators, Papa and Wakea. The founding creators of the world gave birth to Haloa, the kalo plant, and Haloa, the kane man. Through this, the Hawaiian people felt tied to the land. This video expresses more on what the kumulipo is, and to the right, a physical reading on a portion of the kumulipo. There was an appropriate mele oli for every occasion. In the ancient Hawaiian civilizations book, there were pule prayers and prophecy, mele inoa, name chants, kai honua, genealogies, kanikau, which is dirges, ho'o ipo ipo, which is love songs, mele kawa, war poems, and mele hakukole, in derogation of an individual. This particular type of mele by Nona Beamer is a love song, or ho'o ipo ipo. Located in a puna forest, Jonathan Lopez chants this mele of love, aloha oli. I fondly remember singing Hawaiian songs with my grandmother, and she taught me how certain songs have kauna in them. Kauna was used in many mele. In the earlier translation of aloha oli, kauna was expressed, ona ona I ka hala. Fragrant is the breath of hala. The translation could be the breath of a lover. The sweet smell of her breath is embedded into his memory. A secret means of communication. Secret lovers uniting after being apart for so long. According to the book The Hawaiians of Old by Betty Dunford, Hawaiian poems often had more than one meaning. Sometimes they had four meanings. Often mele oli accompanied mele hula. From the book Kumuhula Roots and Branches, types of mele hula include hula pele, dances of the gods, hula mele inoa, dances based on chants of important chiefs. Once danced, the dances became property of the chief it was danced for. Hula mele ma'i were exotic and sexual forms of dance that ensured the hereditary line of the chief, and hula mele kanikau were dances for the dirges and the dead for funeral process, and hula mele kaua, dances for war and for battle. You can see how many of these dances are aligned with previous types of mele oli. Hula today is not like hula of old Hawaii. Dunford infers that hula was a part of a religious program. The dances were for the gods as well as the people. The people and dancers had to act a certain way. There were many kapu rules from the kapu system that regulated the way people acted during the program. This is the way people would make offerings to the gods. There were more male hula dancers than female hula dancers, and only a few people would dance. The dancers had special training because of the strict religious program. Chiefs had their own personal group of hula dancers, where kumu hula would teach hula and oli. Through hula and oli, stories were told with their hands and feet gestures, while their eyes and mouths told the meanings of the story. Instruments were essential to dancing hula. The instruments consisted of simple drums and gourds classified as membranophones. The instruments were used by special players while other people were chosen to dance the hula. Other instruments were ili ili, little stones that were clicked together. They were like cymbals, and kala'au, sticks, one shorter and one longer. The bamboo rattle, pu ili, and the uli uli, the single-handed rattle, are all percussion idiophones. Sometimes while dancing, these many idiophones, like the ili ili and kala'au, were center stage and used during the hula performance. In 1820, the Calvinist missionaries introduced palapala, which is reading, writing, and scripture lessons. palapala was used to gain the confidence of the Hawaiian people. It wasn't too much later when they attacked hula and prohibited hula from being performed in the public view. In Hawaii, there were big changes underway where the culture of Hawaii would be changed forever. With hula and oli being attacked, so would the foundation that held it all together, the kapu system. With missionaries instilling their beliefs into the chiefs, hula was no longer to be seen publicly. Many of the songs during the 1800s were lost, but during the 50th birthday of Kalakaua, many of the 19th century hula and songs replaced what was known as the ancient hula. We Hawaiians have definitely lost parts of our history with the loss of kahiko, old forms of hula, and oli. With what history and culture we have left, Hawaiian culture should be shared with the youth in hopes to pass down the knowledge of traditional songs, dances, and history. In hopes to build a stronger bond, the Hawaiian people will have a closer tie to the land and other Hawaiians. As people share the culture, a growing interest in traditional Hawaiian ways will also grow, so the future of Hawaiian culture will live on for many more generations to come. Thankfully, there has been a growing community of people in parts of America and Japan that take an active role in learning and sharing the Hawaiian culture and practices. Hula had fundamentally changed, and a new form of Awana hula styles were created. Hula and oli will thrive if generations of Hawaiians and non-Hawaiians pass down Hawaiian culture. If traditional and contemporary styles of hula are shared, then we can escape the extinction of the Hawaiian culture. Today we can see types of traditional Kahiko Mele hula and Mele oli performed at the Merry Monarch Hula Festival. This festival is a huge gathering for local and international groups of people who are interested in participating and sharing the Hawaiian culture and preserving the traditional practices. The hula halaus have standard kumu hula today like they did in ancient Hawaii, and during the kahiko performances they wear the traditional kapapa'u, traditional hula kahiko outfit, and men would wear the malo, the traditional men's clothing, and often wore lei around their arms, neck, and legs. I hope that through this research paper you have learned more about the word kahiko. Some of the videos may not play. I will upload them separately for viewing purposes. Aloha and ahuiho.